Hello there. As you walk up Calvert Street in Baltimore City, Maryland, United States, in the downtown district, you can't help but to see all the different kinds of buildings and architecture that this city has to offer. However, we're going to pinpoint our attention to the Baltimore City Courthouse, downtown. And this is one courthouse. Judicial courthouse. And this is a courthouse where they say that they marry you on this side, and on the other side is the old post office. A long time ago, where they get you divorced. And in my case, I went through both of them, of course. But you see them all here in downtown Baltimore. There's many artifacts and everything else that goes with it. In this documentary, you will see facts, proof, evidence of what you have read in the book When a Judge Can't Judge. My nightmare, the court system in Baltimore, Maryland. And When a Judge Can't Judge, part 2, the conclusion. Also from that come a YouTube talk show channel, International Fathers. And on YouTube also at Nelson Md Senior. You can do all of that stuff and get it all. And just by learning and teaching about the custody issues that fathers may face inside of a courthouse. You're going to see different areas where I have to maneuver my way through the court system from Baltimore City to Annapolis, and then finally down to the U.S. Supreme Court of the United States in Washington, D.C. An amazing journey that I had that I will never, ever, ever forget as long as I live. Nelson Md Senior presents the documentary, The Journey of a Father's Fight. Just to be a part of this child's life. Downtown in Baltimore City, showing you all how it's set up downtown as far as the courthouse and as far as the custody issue that I was talking to you about in reference to this documentary. Now we're up on Chase Street, 1804 East Chase Street in Baltimore, Maryland, where a whole lot of this stuff unfolded. This house right here is where I used to live at when all this stuff happened. My attorney struck her appearance. That means that she was legally able to withdraw herself from representing me. At that point, up in the 3rd floor of this house here, I was crying. I was crying like a baby. I had tears coming down my eyes. It was like Niagara Falls in there. I was praying to God. What should I do? What can I do? I didn't have no money, no escape route. I didn't know no attorneys who would do it for free. I had to do this thing all by myself. A big thing of light came down on me. God said, get up, dry your tears, and do as I say do. I went downtown the next day and I put my name on everything to let them know I was representing myself now. Now all this wouldn't have happened if allegations of me of being abusive to my son for 10 long years wouldn't have happened. To be abusing your child physically for 10 years, somebody somewhere should report something. At that time I was in law enforcement. One of my son's mothers was an RN for the state of Maryland. She should have reported me. But even before then, his mother should have left me. Because I was beating my son up, because I was abusing him physically, she should have left me. I told one judge I'm fingerprinted Secret Service, FBI, the Maryland State Police, and Baltimore City Police for jobs I've had, so I'm credited. I'm not going to take a chance of losing all my credentials on something like that. But all that unfolded right here inside of 1804 East Chase Street. I got that knock early in the morning. The mailman came through. I was reading my mail. I was like, wow, what's going on? So as you know, I had to start doing my thing, and that's representing my whole self to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. I was prepared from the beginning to go that far to prove myself. 3 stories, 5-bedroom house, enough room for my son and I, of which his mother moved 5 times in 14 months. 2 of those times was with relatives. And I say to myself, how in the world can you compare this, a single father, just want to be a part of his son's life, versus his mother moving 5 times in 14 months? Somebody out there should do the math. However, I persevered time after time from downtown to Annapolis, Maryland, to the Supreme Court of the United States, because I was not going to be labeled as a father that's not involved with his child's life. Everybody who knew me knew that. It was just so sad, it was unfortunate that that had to happen. However, I developed a lot of strength from that. And right now, today, I help out a whole lot of fathers in reference to child custody issues. It is not about degrading the mothers. That's not what I do. It's about bringing together 2 people who made this one child together socially to talk things out for the sake of this child or children if more are involved. However, this house is where everything started at, right here. 1804 East Chase Street, here in Baltimore, Maryland. There's a whole lot of memories in this house, both good and bad. I can recite my whole court case from 1996 like it happened yesterday. Today, this is August the 24th of 2013. I'll see you at the next stop very soon. Yep, now I'm up here on 1300 block of Gorsuch Avenue. On this particular night, my son called me from his cell phone, pager, and he told me that he was just thrown up into a wall by his mother's boyfriend at that time, and now it's her husband. October the 3rd of 1996, all this happened. A night I will never ever forget. It was horrible. My son with a cut under his eye and a knot in the back of his head. I rode that bike fast from 800 block of Chase Street to here. It seemed like about 2 minutes. But I know that it took just a little bit longer. And all that stuff like that. However, I managed to get you, my son, in a quick time. Because this is what fathers will do. All the time. We as good parents must always remember that, in a sense of protecting our children at all costs. From this point here, I went to the hospital in the emergency room. They threatened to take my son away from me. I told the nurse, I said, please, don't take my son from me. The case was indicated child abuse by the Baltimore City Police Department. Social worker came to my house the next day, also indicated the child abuse. But the child was never, ever, ever taken away out of the house for the safeguard of my son's safety. And I live with that memory for the rest of my life. What a horrible nightmare to ever experience when your child getting abused physically. And report is made by a parent. You'll hear what happens next. Courthouse on North Avenue at Hartford Road here in Baltimore, Maryland. This courthouse see a lot of domestic cases as well as rent cases. However, it's still a courthouse. It's supposed to listen to facts, proof, and evidence whenever somebody is bringing things to them. In reference to my case, my son being abused on October the 3rd, 1996. 13th block of 4th Avenue. The case ended up here. At the East Side District Court. However the case went down, she legally recanted her story of child abuse, and the case was null processed. Null process in layman terms means that we have enough evidence, proof, and facts to convict you of a crime, but we won't. We're going to let it go. We're going to pat you on your wrist and not mess with it. That's what we want to do. And we'll let that hang over your head for about a year. So basically, my son was assaulted and nothing, no justice was ever surrendered to him, even to this day. Courthouses in America. Our American flag at the top of it. So does our state flag. And along that also our city flag. Whatever happened to liberty and justice. Hello there, and welcome back to A Father's Journey to the Supreme Court of the United States. The documentary phase of this film is now underway. As you watch and see carefully the documents that were imperative throughout this whole journey of Nelson L. Moody Sr. In September term 1997, the number is 479. You will see the table of contents, also the statement of the case, the question presented, statement of facts, and the argument. Key components to a brief and record extract that was filed in Annapolis in the Court of Special Appeals of Maryland. One of the most distinctive questions that was presented to the court was, why would Master Hutchins rule on allegations without no proof, facts, or evidence? I also later found out that in research, a master is only supposed to allow cases inside of his or her jurisdiction. She may have been out of her jurisdiction. In the table of contents, cases reference to my case, some prominent cases in the state of Maryland. As you can see, each one of them. And sometimes it's not just against two people. I also have Department of Social Services and other entities that can also be involved in a court proceedings, legal actions. The statement of the case opens up everything with all the questions and the answers that should be going to and forward towards the judge, back and forward to each counsel. If you represent yourself, then you're a proper person on the state level. At the Supreme Court level, of course, it changes. The question presented, which is a very important question, is so why couldn't the lower court determine what was in the child's best interest with two expert witnesses testifying on behalf of Mr. Moody with allegations being made against him with no proof, facts, or evidence? Expert witnesses are law enforcement officers, doctors, correctional officers, teachers, social workers. Those type of people are expert witnesses. As you go out throughout the brief and the record extract, you see the examples of the pages that's inserted inside of the brief that would describe the record extract in its entirety. In legal matters, also when evidence and facts and proof is presented to the court by way of both counsel, there's always an argument a written argument, and there's also an oral argument. In a written argument, you want to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, with everything falling within the legal aspects of the law using the legal language. Introduction of your case so that everybody knows what's going on. Just giving a brief summary of what happened in the case before it goes to an appellate court. This case started on July the 1st, 1996. Somewhere along the line, it also can be something that takes a case a different way than one may anticipate it. That's when you may have a rule on false allegations. How do you rule on false allegations? The world may never know. However, in court systems across the country and around the world, cases do get responses based on false allegations. And in this particular case, in addition to false allegations, safety and well-being of a child was also presented. This may not be every case. It won't be every other case, but each case is unique in its own sense. Again, for whatever reason, whatever one is bringing someone to court for in any type of legal matter, the burden of proof is always on the one who brings a person to the legal matter. As they say, innocent until proven guilty. However, some people challenge that. You'll hear judges also say the same terminology about ignorance is no excuse to the law. Sometimes they should chew on their own words. I have no idea why they use that term. You have a lot of smart, intelligent people in this world. Sometimes the judge can't take it. If you know just as much, if not more than he or she. Attorneys are not left out also. Anyone can read and understand what they have read. At the end of it, you may have something that's just special. To warrant modifications in such of a delicate case like child or children. which never seemed to amaze me, modifying of custody of a child. When the system removes a child from a abusive, hostile home for a week or two, and you put that child back into the same household, as opposed to letting someone, a close family member, take part of a child's life, as opposed to putting up for adoption, a foster home, or otherwise other things. Warranty modification. And back to what I said earlier, ignorance is no excuse to the law. That's what they say, the judges. The pertinent provision section talks about all the codes inside of your state. If one is following the laws in their state when it comes to children, why would somebody want to go against that? If you don't know for what's best for the child or children. And then finding everything out. However, somewhere along the line, somebody may go against it. Is it to seek self-satisfaction in the courts as a judge, as an attorney? Is it to make sure that you as an attorney don't ruffle a judge's feathers? Because you yourself one day may want to be a judge. You have that mark against you. Who knows? All I know is that sometimes things in the legal system just seem to just kind of get messed up. You have somebody who hadn't committed a crime but was accused of a crime, get 20, 35 years in jail with no proof, just because somebody says something, and somebody don't do nothing, get let go. They say with liberty and justice for all. I'm still trying to find a liberty and justice for all part. See how that ties into court situations, especially when it's in black and white and you're following the law. That's me right there. Lawson, I'm me the singer. How can something so simple be so complex? I have no idea. But it happens. Taking it case by case, and person by person, you can watch and see things. In this particular case here, the doctor here was an expert witness who testified on my behalf. Makes you feel like sometimes the doctor's word is not worth too much. This was a teacher. Even though she testified on my behalf, to just say what she know about me, saw about me, that seemed not to be enough. I've had awards from volunteering in Baltimore City public school systems. Also, a principal supported me. I just can't see how some things just shouldn't go further than others. This is the Ironfield State of Maryland. Testified on Mom's behalf. For someone who hadn't seen me in 5 long years, I guess that's 5 times 12. Openly admitted that she always saw me hitting my son in the back of his head in the high chair. Who have not seen me in 5 years. Allegations meant for truth. It worked. Without proof asked. We'll talk about expert witnesses later on. School volunteer here. We volunteered at the same school that my son went to. Some of the same issues. She always saw me hitting him in the back of his head. And all this supposed to happen at 6 months old. 6 months to 10 years old. By law, somebody should have reported me. By law, something should have been done. At that time, I was working in law enforcement in Baltimore City. I'm fingerprinted up the Secret Service, the FBI, Maryland State Police, and Baltimore City Police. Ex-military, I'm fingerprinted the U.S. government also. With credentials like that, you would think that no one would mess those up. However, if it was done correctly by law, and computer systems would have crossed, I would have lost my job. Based upon these people able to prove the allegations of me. How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel as a person out there if this stuff was done to you? I know how it made me feel. To this very day, August 25th, 2013, I can still remember everything. And I can recite my court case like it happened 10 minutes ago. from testimonies to attorneys, attorney, since I represented myself, to the 7 judges who went before me. I said before me because I was just as intelligent as them. I was able to interpret the same legal law, the same legal language that they were talking. I was able to dialogue the same way they dialogued to me, back to them. Something that will probably never go away is a psychological mental thing. It just stays with you. You just think about it. Writing letters could have helped, should have helped, but didn't help. I had no reason why they didn't help. But this went to the mayor of Baltimore City at the time. After it went through Department of Social Services and Child Protective Services. Just seeing if Nelson Md Sr. ever did this to the son. And Child Protective Services can only investigate allegations if a report is received. Since there has been no reports of abuse against you, meaning me, we cannot complete an investigation. One of the most terrible things as a parent around the world is being accused of being mean, nasty, and abusing your child or children. Fathers, mothers around the world, they will take them to a different level, especially when the allegations that can't be proven. But because somebody might want your head, so to say, in court, or somebody may not want the best of you or for you, strategic actions sometimes play a part of the opposing party in order to conquer what they set out to get. And in the long run, the child suffers. The child or children suffer. Because of all of this. September 6th of 1995, September 27th of 1995. In just 1 month, that the principal was able to produce days that I volunteered at the school that my son went to. Prior to Haven Court. Some of the awards. I've earned volunteering. I always loved children. I was 13 years old when I first started watching children. I believe I've been involved with children for 100-something years. I just love them. They're innocent. They're funny. They're caring. They're special. They're God's gift to you. You watch them grow. You watch them develop. And then you watch them when they get to be older and seeing what they do in life after you impacted their life. Whether it be good or bad, you're making an impact. As you stated before, this was the actual police report. The factual of when my son was assaulted. Baltimore City Police did the report. Complaint number 4J2126. If we take a note of Gorsuch Avenue, where their two scenes will go, there it is again highlighted in yellow. Our second scene is at North Avenue and Hartford Road at the District Court, whereas though this same case went before a judge and got all processed, highlighted in yellow. Null process meaning in layman terms, we have enough evidence to convict you, but we won't. You did the crime, but we're not going to charge you. We had proof, facts, and evidence and witnesses that said it happened, but we're going to slap you in the wrist and let you go. To hear null process any parent who've experienced this, it just takes your mind to a different level as to why and how. Do you get angry? Of course you do. Upset and mad at the same time. I still shake my head to this day when I hear about children being hurt, being harmed, and get to court and something like this happens. The children who are abducted, kidnapped, brutally,
to some death occur. There was a young girl who was going to school every day around 1998. This little girl was eating real fast in school. Had bruises. People kept quiet. Didn't want to say nothing. Didn't want to get involved. This little girl died. She died. She's from Maryland. Eating fast like she was in boot camp. Nobody paid attention. Or is it that they did? They just didn't want to get involved. My title is on the line. My college degree is on the line. Forget your college degree right now. A child is in trouble. All the evidence is there. Later found out that she died at the hands of her mother and her mother's boyfriend. When I heard that story, people told me about it. Tears rolled down my eyes. Because of my case. Because of this squirrel right here, all processed. My second book is dedicated to her. When a judge can't judge part to the conclusion, it's dedicated to her. Nobody's here forever. But she did not deserve to go out like that. She's just a baby. Took me to the hospital. That same night I'll never forget. October 3rd, 1996. 2 scenes before this scene. Riding my bike from my house to where the security at. To get into the hospital. To have my son examined. Cut under his eye. A knot in the back of his head. And a social worker telling me, Mr. Moody, we're taking your child from you. It didn't happen in your presence, but we had to keep your child. With tears in my eyes rolling. I said, Miss, please don't take my son from me. Please. Still crying and praying to God that this lady come back saying I can take my son home for me tonight. Her prayer answered because she walked through the door and said, Mr. Moody, I'd like me to take your child home tonight. But you will have a visit tomorrow from CPS. I said, thank you. CPS worker gets there the next day. Question. Talk to me, talk to him. I left the area so that he can talk freely. Tell her what happened again. By law, they were supposed to interject it and petition the court for emergency custody because of what happened. Nobody did that. No one did that. And to this very day, as I said before, I can recite everything that's happened from 1995, in particular October the 3rd, 1996. This was prior to a court date in December the 4th of that same year. The judge didn't think it made a difference, and that it was best for a child to stay in an environment like that. I couldn't understand it. Even though I moved on and life goes on, that still touched me every now and then. I told one judge, I said, what if my son was killed? How would y'all respond then? The judge, the bailiff, the attorney for the opposing side, my son's mother, her two witnesses, everybody put their head down. None of them couldn't collectively give me an answer. What if he died? And the plan that night at the hospital was a good plan. However, somewhere along the line it got twisted. Through police, through doctors, through social workers. I couldn't see no type of resolution. However, throughout this whole case, I highlighted and I speak boldly about it. The only agency who did their job thoroughly was the Baltimore City Police Department. The only agency. You may ask why and how. I'm going to tell you how. The Baltimore Police Department wrote the report that was filed. In order to file a report, somebody must tell what happened. They wrote down what they were told. They wrote what they saw. The crime lab took pictures of what they saw. Once it leaves their hand, they've done their job. If CPS won't step in, if DSS don't step in, if judges don't say nothing, it just goes by. But the police department did their job thoroughly. And I highlight it. And I do give them praise for that. But that case went from downtown to Annapolis. When you think about going from Baltimore City to Annapolis, It's a drive. It can also be tedious. One of my hardest things representing myself was being able to understand the language, digest it, and to use it against them. Once I was able to do that and talk on their level, I was fine. But making it down to Annapolis was the hardest part. Different settings of everything than it is in Baltimore City. Different set of judges, quote unquote. But that was a task I'll never forget. You see, I don't believe that you're smart or intelligent because you have degrees in schooling. I believe that when you think you can do anything, read and understand, you can do it. When you got a first grade education, 12th grade education, 4th grade, 5th grade, 9th, 6th, 7th, 8th, it don't matter. If you believe that you can do it, you can do it. 1 year of college, a half a year of college, you can do it. Because I refuse to tell anybody along the way. I refuse to accept them telling me what I can't do, what I'm not going to do. I had strong opposition by many. Just give up. You don't have an attorney. You don't have no money to pay for one. No, I didn't have money. Stop trying. However, I persevered. I was committed. I was persistent. I had courage, determination, and willpower. I refused to let things unfold the way that they try to do. I was prepared to go the whole 9. I was prepared to go the distance. There's nothing or nobody going to change my mind. Things are different on this level here. It looks backwards and forward, but you just reciting, so to speak, all the information from Baltimore City. And you put it in a chronological order. But you still want some answers. You still want some answers. You want to be able to see if anybody will be able to answer the questions that you have. In reference to the case in the circuit court. The decision of the Court of Special Appeals. Your statement. Your date of judgment mandate. All this was foreign to me. But I remember the lady who showed me. A lady in the law library showed me how to represent myself. She showed me this in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, he showed me how to represent myself. What attorneys go to school for in 4 years, you heard me, I learned in 30 minutes. Never in a million years I thought that I would ever face anything like this. However, sometimes in life, a monkey wrench gets thrown in your program. I know a lot of people around the world can attest to that. The funny thing out of a movie, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you find in the middle. Your argument in support of the petition. And that's something that can also be, in a lot of ways, in a lot of sense, consistent. It should be consistent throughout your whole case. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and think you're going to have a good day, and it rain on you. Forgot your umbrella. It was expected to rain, but it didn't. Or there was no call for rain and it rained. However, life goes on. Everyone has their drive in them, whether it's a little bit or a lot. The funny thing about it is, eat that box of chocolate. Enjoy yourself. I like chocolate. So go ahead. The mandate pays for Court of Special Appeals. The part that just shows everything at a glance. We're looking at it saying, wow, shouldn't have went that far. Then at the end of everything, it's a price. It's a price. Now to do all this through an attorney, at that stage, I have probably been $7,000 to probably $9,000, maybe $10,000. I didn't have that kind of money. But for me taking it from Baltimore to Annapolis, you see it right there, $478.40. That's less than $1,000. What's in your wallet? Talk about pro bono. You know, church still cost you. They say pro bono. I just choose to call it, represent myself. Because nobody knows your case the way you know it. There's more figures right there. $80, $100. Excuse me, $10, $90 for certain services. Again, this is still a lot less than $10,000. Some people have it, some don't. Like that old song from a long time ago. Some guys have all the luck. Going through what I was going through. Didn't have it. I had my faith. Faith in God, my drive, my determination, my willingness, my courage. Oh yeah. My 5-bedroom house for my son and I. And it's the way thing that happened. You see how old it is by the coloration. That same letter from the mayor of Baltimore at that time. Just couldn't find none or had nothing on me. The same letters from the school system. Wow. The Supreme Court of the United States, October term, 1998. His petitioner and responded on this level here. My experience in this part of the case was that I'm going to the Supreme Court of the United States in reference to allegations of being abusive to my son, inappropriate discipline and behavior, and a custody issue. Now remind you, I drove everything. I wasn't sending this in the mail. I had nobody to do it for me. I was taking everything myself. Remind you, as I say, the Supreme Court of the United States don't handle custody cases. I found that out. I shouldn't have been there. I was prepared to go to the highest court in the land to prove my point and to challenge those who have allowed things to happen to me unnecessary, to hold those accountable for allowing this to happen to me. But I found out that all everybody kept doing to Nelson Md Sr. was passing the buck. No one wanted to investigate my case. No one wanted to even give me a telephone call. A lot of times I said to myself, it's a monopoly. Nelson Md Sr., it's a monopoly. And that as long as you pursue what you're pursuing, you're going to keep running to dead ends. You're going to keep running into brick walls. Nobody's going to listen to you or hear you. Because that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to challenge the court system. You ain't supposed to challenge their wrongdoing. You're not supposed to challenge their wrong conclusions of you. You're not supposed to challenge their dismissitions of you, their denied positions of you. You're not supposed to challenge none of that. You are supposed to accept what they give you. Why? Number one, I'm a judge. Why? Number two, you don't have a law degree. All you have is a high school diploma. Who do you think you are coming to this courtroom telling me what the law is? That's the expression I got on their face. Another one that just sat dormant on their face was look out for Nelson Md Sr. Don't have no law degree. Never stepped foot inside of a law school, but his stuff is tight. Colleagues, don't let him get by with nothing. Don't let him get by with a thing. Everything that he filed, every petition, every show cause, anything that he filed, any contempt of court, dismiss, deny, stop him. Don't let him get nothing in. He's not part of us. He's not part of us. From my understanding, we have a high school diploma, a trade school at that, vocational school. Don't let this man get away with nothing. Mergenthal Vocational High School. study brick masonry. Study brick masonry. How you let brick masonry person come up here in this court and tell us what to do? We can't do that. We won't do it. We're going to stop it. That's what it was. But instead, I persevered with all my determination. This petition for writ of certiorari to Supreme Court of the United States from the Court of Appeals of Maryland is the next to last step in the court system. That's what it is. And it's something. Here we go. The question presented is basically the same. These questions are running consistent. Nothing's changed. Why was it hard for the master to judge a delicate case? Why would the judge have the son stay there with mom after the police report? He's been assaulted by the boy back then, now husband. Why wasn't child testimony taken into consideration? Why? The same questions. Consistency. That's what it was. The table of contents. Some of the same stuff going up, but on the Supreme Court level. Different format. Whole new different thing. Perjury. Lying comes with a price. However, they didn't pay it. The opinion below, again, the same thing as in Baltimore City Court. You can write anything in a different type of order. Statement of jurisdiction. And again, once again, and to the Court of Maryland. Statement of the case. Supreme Court level is, as I said, different. Two witnesses also testified on behalf of son's mother. reason for granting the petition. Baltimore Police Department and Child Services, pictures were taken. Let me get a conclusion out of this. In the city, throughout the whole case, as I trying to get people to just listen and investigate my case. From my councilman in Baltimore City, to the mayor, to the president of the United States during that time, and his wife. I only had one person who actually wanted to help me out. I had one person who called me asking what the problem is. I'll go with the person with the problem first. A man with a title of president at a TV station in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, called my house and asked me what the problem was. I told him after I sent them the letter of additional information, and he said, sorry, but that's in the state of Maryland. I thanked him just for making the call. The one person who really wanted to help me out, we looked at her letter in its entirety now. Dated June 16th of 1998, a member of U.S. Congress of the United States House of Representatives, Washington, D.C. 20515-3212. This lady right here, this congresswoman from the state of New York, wanted to assist me. Thank you for taking the time to contact me in reference to what you were going through. She wanted to extend her hand. And even though I knew she was a congresswoman from the state of New York, I wrote her. Because the state of New York at that time had a committee in reference to fathers that the state of Maryland did not have. As much as I would like to assist you, congressional protocol kicked in. And I respected that. At the same time, she sent the information to my congressman right there in bold print, Elijah E. Cummings, 2 times. So he had it 3 different times. These are people who want your vote every year. Every election. And I always said to myself, I wrote in one of my books, that Miss Congress Lady Nadia Velasquez, I'm going to meet you one day. A member of Congress. I also wrote some additional people just to get some recognition of my court case. I took a different twist and I mailed these 2 powerful people copies of my first 2 books. Somebody signed for them. I don't know who it is. This was 2004. My books are still in in this particular one. And I also sent one to, that's right, Miss Winfrey. And somebody signed for it there too. October 15th of 2004. This is still sealed and shut because I want to one day put this in the hands of this person. I've written to other entertainers and actors and producers also, not just to get help, but just to seek a chance of telling my story to the silver screen. And I believe one day somebody somewhere is going to take it to the next level for me. That's what I believe. Very interesting story. They say some of the best stories get unnoticed. While going through all this, I was nominated to be part of a prestigious international group of people called Cambridge Who's Who. These people recognize my work. I may never meet the person who nominated me, but it feels good to be noticed. It feels good for somebody to acknowledge your work. And once again, your work don't have to be recognized through nothing like this. Your work can just be recognized by you affecting people, by you inspiring people, by lives you touch. I've had 4 fathers who found my work on YouTube in the last 2.5 years, who were going through custody issues. One was from Birmingham, Alabama. One was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and 2 were from Miami. And these fathers just want just a little bit more time with their children. Each of these guys bought my 4th book, A Father Self-Representation, Hosea 4 and 6, Eliminating the Middleman, and watched the 10 videos that I made in reference to that book. And they happen to get more visitation and time spent with their children. Now, I may never, ever, ever meet these fathers, but just knowing that my work touched at least one person, I feel real good. I feel real good about it. That could be the difference of a child finishing school or not finishing school. Get involved in gangs, not get involved in gangs. Completing this or not completing that. It can make a world of a difference. I'm going to do my part in life to help out. My calling at a young age has been to connect fathers and children. As I watched growing up, fathers and their children, I knew something was missing inside of my life. I saw how my friends interacted with their fathers, and I said to myself, I don't have one of those. I'm missing something. So I started asking my mother about my father. I got short answers. Eventually I turned 15 and started asking more questions. I went on to join the military at the age of 18. I traveled the world for 6 years. I came back asking some more of those same questions. I happened to look in the phone book and found every one Their last name is my father. My spouse at the time and we called each one of those people, told them who I was and what I was doing. I stumbled across an aunt of mine. I told her who I was and what I was doing, with a little bit of information I had, and she agreed to meet me the following Tuesday. This was a Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my father died. I had no idea that he died. Monday, Tuesday, when I first met her, she was talking to me, telling me my father had just left. I'm thinking he went outside to go to the store or something. I said, where'd he go at? He said, your father had just died 2 days ago. The next day, Wednesday, I saw my father for the first time in a coffin, already cold and dead, ready to get buried. I often tell people be careful what they pray for, because my prayer to God was I want to see my father before I turn 30 and before he leave this earth. God granted both those prayers to me, because 3 weeks from that Wednesday, I turned 30. I turned 30. When I interact with my children, I can still feel that pain, because I wanted my father. I don't know what it is to say daddy to no man. Talk to him, play marbles, get disciplined, teach me stuff. Or just have a father-son talk. All of my children know what it feels like to say dad. Have somebody to talk to about life, about anything. I do thank God for allowing me to be in their lives. But again, we're in this part of our father's journey to Supreme Court.
Alright, say record.
And now you will see how long it took me to ride from 1804 East Chase Street to the 30th block of Wolfridge Avenue that night, October 3rd, 1996.
That's where the money is. Look, I just seen it.
You alright?
They arrest people at the house. All of them.
You alright? You alright, too? Come here. You okay? You alright? How far would you go for your child in the judicial court system of the United States? A Nelson L. Moody Sr. film. A father's journey to the Supreme Court of the United States. Featuring Alexandria N. Moody, Alexia N. Moody, Aaron N. Moody, and Nelson L. Moody Sr. Filming by Alexander McNair Jr. When a father is in taking care of his children in every way you can think of, you don't mess with, tamper with, try to destroy or break up the bond by playing chess. When a father is taking care of his children, you let him. Nelson L. Moody Sr. film documentary, A Father's Journey to the Supreme Court of the United States.